Holborn, just east of Chancery Lane Station, which is the start point of run 3 of the Knowledge of London. Chancery Lane Station to Rolls Road, down off the old Kent Road in South East 1. I'm going to have a quick run around and look at a few of the points, and principally the turnarounds at this end of the run. The main problem with this end of the run is that it starts on Holborn, which is basically a dual carriageway due to the number of disused public toilets, bike bays, statues and other paraphernalia stuck in the middle of Holborn all of the way down. Not allowed to do U-turns on the Knowledge, so if you're pointing in a westerly direction and want to head east, or if you're pointing in an easterly direction and want to head west, you've got to turn around using back streets. The first thing I'm going to look at is one of 2 options for heading back west if you're actually pointing east. So if you're picking up over there at the Prudential Building, Holborn Bars, Waterhouse Square, whatever you want to call it, and you want to head back behind me, there are 2 options for doing it. First one I'm going to look at is to leave on the left, go left into Haddon Garden, right into Greville Street, right into Farringdon Road, right into Charterhouse Street, which brings me back out on Holborn Circus, just in front of us where that statue of Prince Albert raising his hat is. So let's leave on the left in Holborn. The point they normally use to ask you this is Bounce London, the club with the table tennis tables, just on the left of that Boots pharmacy there. St Andrew's Church, the White Tower ahead of us, City Temple, the beige tower ahead of us there with the green cupola, and the Gold Cross left into Haddon Garden. The Wonder Gallery on the right is fairly new as jewellery emporiums go. Right into Greville Street. Goldsmiths Company Assay Office on the right there, just opposite Kirby Street. I always used to do all that stuff at the Goldsmiths Hall itself, but keeping the plebs out, they've decided to move it to here, to Greville Street. And at the bottom of Greville Street, you are forced right onto Farringdon Road. Sir John Oldcastle pub on the left, a Wetherspoons. Right onto Farringdon Road. Farringdon, the transport hub at the heart of Crossrail. I thought that was Tottenham Court Road. Coming to you in 2018. Yes. On time and on budget, obviously. Plenty of traffic out here for Boxing Day. Right into Charterhouse Street out of Farringdon Road. Griffin in front of us indicates that the City of London starts there. De Beers Diamond Merchants on the right. Ely Place on the right, there's a few points in there. And right at Holborn Circus, back onto Holborn, which spins us around to head west. Sainsbury's headquarters, 33 Holborn on the left. And back down where we started, but pointing in the right direction. If you were to pick up here at, say, what always was the Melton Mowbray pub over there, it's now the Inn of Court. And actually that Itsu is the first place I ever worked 35 years and a bit ago. It was Exchange Travel then. If you were to pick up facing in that direction and you want to head back towards Holborn Circus, you've got 2 options here as well actually. You could use Southampton Buildings on the left and then come back via Chancery Lane, but your shorter option is to go right into Brook Street, just down the side of the Prudential Building there, right into Dorrington Street, right Brooks Market, right Beauchamp Street, and then back left into Brook Street and left back onto High Holborn. Basically you're just using a few council buildings in the middle of a square as the turnaround doing that. So let's have a go at it, leaving on the left in Holborn. And right into Brook Street. Lounge 33 was Brooks Brothers until very recently, not sure when they changed that, but that was a point they asked as Brooks Brothers. I'm sure they'll ask it as Lounge 33. Fox Court Immigration Tribunal on the left, the main entrance to that is in Gray's Inn Road. They do ask that, but they ask it as the front entrance, not as the rear entrance around here. St Alban the Martyr Church in front of us. The lodge at St Ursula's on the left at Doss House as we turn right into Dorrington Street. I'll be in a Doss House if I don't complete the knowledge fairly quickly. Right into Brooks Market. The grandly named Cranley buildings on the right. Right into Beauchamp Street. And left back into Brook Street. Which brings us back out to the left into Holborn, heading in the right direction. The second option for the turnaround for those facing east, as I am, and wanting to head west, is to go right rather than left at Holborn Circus into New Fetter Lane. Right just into Bream's Buildings, I suppose. There's no sign on that bit of Bream's Buildings outside that solicitors, whose names I've forgotten since they've merged and become something else. But right into Bream's Buildings, right into Fetter Lane, left into Norwich Street, right into Furnival Street, and that brings us out onto Holborn, just behind me, where I can head back west. So let's have a spin around at this. Leaving on the left in Holborn, heading towards Holborn Circus. Right into Fetter Lane with St Andrew's Church in front of us and the City Temple behind that. Thaby's In-House in front of us. Main entrance just as you go down St Andrew's Street there. Oh no, if you turned right it would have been on the right. Sorry, if I turned left it would have been on the right. But down New Fetter Lane I go. Left in to this bit of Bream's Buildings. I can't remember what Beechcroft Stanleys are called. What are they called? DAC Beechcroft. Right up Fetter Lane, left into Norwich Street. Right into Furnival Street. Tooks Court on the left. Back at the other end of that is Vanilla Black, which is a point they ask a lot about, the most expensive and upmarket vegetarian restaurant in the middle of town. And out of Furnival Street we go, and pointing in the right direction on Holborn. Let's have a quick look at the other turnaround. If you were heading in this direction, and say you picked up there at Barnard's Inn and were past the Brook Street turnaround, you go down here, which is High Holborn at this point, left and right into Southampton Buildings. then right Chancery Lane and back out onto High Holborn. London Silver Vaults on the right, which is one they do ask quite regularly. Back right into Chancery Lane, both arms of that L-shaped turnaround are still Southampton buildings. And back at the top of Chancery Lane to turn right into High Holborn and head east. Warwick Court just over there in front of us. One point they ask down there is the Guild of Air Pilots and Navigators right down the bottom on the left. Have to walk in there though. City of York pub on the left, they ask quite a bit as well, and the entrance to Gray's Inn itself is there through that archway by Ryman's. They ask that a lot, fairly obviously, and here are the first two entrances to Chancery Lane Station on our left and right. And that will do for a quick look at the turnarounds and points in the vicinity of Chancery Lane at the start of run 3 of the Knowledge of London.